Okay, hi. I see names coming in already. I'm a little early because last time I tried logging in, my audio video didn't work. So, hey, just trying something different now. But since we're early, let me just go ahead and start saying hi to people. Hey, Heather, welcome. And then we have Janessa, welcome. And Amanda Brown, hey, welcome. All right, and while we're waiting here, we still have 3 minutes, and I'll probably give it another minute or two for people to find the broadcast. But let me know where you're from. It's always fun to know where people are from, where you're watching from. I have people that have signed up from all over the world, really. So it's really cool. Let's see, Amber, hi, welcome. All right, and I see Melissa. So I'm early, you guys. I'm like 2 minutes early. We'll get started here in just a second. Just let me know where you're from. It's always fun to see where people are viewing from. I see Janessa from Ohio, Melissa from Jacksonville, Florida. Awesome. Amanda from Illinois. Great. Just quick story about Jacksonville, Florida. I was in the Navy long time ago, like long time ago, and I was literally driving cross country from California up to North Carolina. That's where I was gonna get stationed. And my car broke down in Jacksonville, Florida. And one thing I remember about Jacksonville, Florida, I'm like, man, how big is this city? I just kept on driving and driving. I remember just it was still Jacksonville, Florida. That's my memory of that. Um, Miranda says hi. Hi everyone. Hi to you as well. Heather from Austin, Texas. Awesome. Miranda from California. Yep, that's where I am. Let's see. Amber, currently in Nampa, Idaho, Northwest all my life. Yeah. All right. So I'm earlier than usual. So um, Melissa just says huge. I've been here 42 years. I still get lost. Yeah, I hear you. And I was lucky because my cousin lived there. So I don't know. Put it this way. It was so long ago. This was before cell phones. So I didn't know. I had to figure out a way to get my cousin who happened to live there. It was like a long lost cousin I hadn't seen in a long time. But I was so fortunate that he knew a mechanic and everything. But yeah, that's my memory of Jacksonville, Florida there. Janessa is asking, are you just getting over a cold? Yeah, can you hear it in my voice? The pollen started coming out again. Like in the summer, the pollen disappears, but like going toward the fall, I guess there's new plants that bloom at this temperature because it's getting cooler again. Um, so yeah, yeah. If you hear that in my voice, yeah, you heard right, Janessa. thanks for uh, thanks for pointing that out and your concern. I appreciate that. Kathy, hi, welcome. Justin, just got here. What did I miss? Justin, I we just got started. I'm just giving it one more minute. It's like 6:01 on my clock. 6:02, we'll get started here. Amber says yes. Hope you feel better soon. Thank you. Kathy, how is your puppy? She's fine. She's actually laying down beneath my desk. That's where she tends to hang out. Like she follows me wherever I go, unless she's hungry. Then she's like, oh, I want to get out of here. So, all right, 30 more seconds, you guys, and then we'll get started here officially. Okay, and while we're waiting for the 30 seconds, who's excited? Who here is excited to get started with the 5 day Unleash Your Inner Psychic Challenge live? I'm going to talk more about it here in a moment, but I know many of you have signed up for it already. So this is the pre-training that I'm doing today. It doesn't start until October 10th, but I want to do some pre-training. Well, it's still open. The signups are open for 2 weeks. So I'm just getting more people. It's really exciting. Like up to 400 people signed up in the last 4 days or something like that. Like 80 people a day on average. So, and I'm sure there's more today. So it's really cool. Kathy's like, glad I did not miss anything. I am me, says Amanda. Heather, yes. Justin says, I am already feeling giddy. Amanda, I am super excited. Okay. Love it. Love the energy, you guys. And just bear with me if you can hear it in my voice. We can start here in just a second. But if I have to like blow my nose, I put y'all on mute or something. It's pollen season all of a sudden. Like in the fall, the pollen comes back here in California, at least in the San Francisco Bay Area. So anyway, if you hear that in my voice, but I still wanted to come on for you guys no matter what. Okay. Welcome. Welcome to pre training day one. And today we're going to talk about 3 reasons why your psychic gifts are blocked. And let me get my bullet points here. Okay. Yeah, so one thing when people first come and find me is because they're at that stage where their psychic gifts are blocked. And in a future pre-training, I'm going to talk about like the various stages of your psychic development. They'll be on pre-training 2. I think I'm going to do that either Saturday or Sunday. Probably Saturday because Sunday I do my live readings, which by the way, if you want to join, I do readings for the public here in the group, and you get to see me in action. You can practice with me, and you might get a chance at a reading. I read up to 5 people just so my current students can also practice with me. But yeah, today we're going to talk about the 3 reasons why your psychic gifts are blocked. Now, if you're meeting me for the first time, hi, my name is Joe Gakoskis, and I'm author of this book, Journey of the Awakened Psychic. And let me know if you already have a copy of my book. You could just type in book just to let me know. And the reason why I wrote my book is because there are many like you who are getting signs like 333, 777, or you're getting dreams, right? Dreams that come true, or it could be something as simple as you think of someone and 5 minutes later they text you, right? A lot of students have come my way before they started the training. One who comes to mind is she would be laying in bed and literally a spirit guide would just be standing there, right? And the spirit guide wasn't scary or nothing, but it was just looking at her like, "You gonna pay attention to me now?" Other people have come my way. I had this one hairdresser student. Every time he'd do someone's hair, literally also in the corner, right? Some relative would be standing, like a dead relative of the person he's working on, would come to him and it's like, "Can you deliver this message?" And he's like, leave me alone." So that might be you, okay? You also might be someone who you get downloads. Let me know if you're like a download person, meaning like I had one student, she was standing in line at the grocery store, and like this person, it could be the cashier person or just someone standing in front of her online. Next thing you know, she just gets all this information about that person. And she's like, "Oh my God, should I say something about this?" Because sometimes the information she'd get was like, "Man, this person really needs to know this." Right? So, all told, okay, all told, many of you are at different stages, right? And what I want to cover today is that when you get to the stage, normally what happens is like, well, I'm getting all these weird 333s, 777s, weird spirit guides, dreams, premonitions, downloads, right? Now you're wondering, okay, those are so random, but how do I control it, right? So Kathy's like, how do you not get startled when spirits come to you? Yep, I'm a download person, then I get dreams. Janessa's like, I'm a downloadee. Yeah. So yeah, you're wondering how you could control it. And when I say control, for some of you, it's less about how do you turn your gifts back on, right? For some of you, let me know if this is you. Let me know which camp you're in, actually. Are you in the on or off? Like for some of you, you want to learn how to turn your gifts off because you're just way too open, okay? But regardless, when you try to open up your gifts on your own, okay, there are 3 reasons why you're unable to do that. And usually how students will describe it is like, oh my gosh, my psychic gifts just feel blocked, okay? And you also might be someone you were really gifted as a child. Let me know if this is you. And then you got older, right? And then They just don't work anymore. I have a lot of people who are joining. I'm asking them, before you join this group, right? I'm like, what's your main question? And I've seen this one actually quite often lately in the last few days. I was really psychic as a child, but the older I got, right, the more they're not working. So, that's just yet another example of why you might feel blocked. Okay. Now, the problem when you feel blocked, let me just read some comments here real quick. Yeah, I'm like a mid switch, like the light is flickering. Oh, that's such a great description, Justin. Um, Sarah, I was very open and now I'm off, but no, but not. It's weird. Okay, yeah. Um, Miranda, I'm off. Need help turning it back on. Melissa, I'm just confused. I hear, feel sometimes and nothing. I don't know. And then Kathy, I had a dream I was on a plane, like Airport 77, was on a plane underwater, looked back and saw people in their seats. What does that mean? Okay, we're gonna, when we get into the challenge, that's actually what we'll cover on day 5. Like, we'll answer that question. What does it mean? So stay tuned. Justin, only gifts that I'm aware of since a child are my aura viewing and precognitive dreaming. Yeah. All right. So just from all your comments, you guys, right? Um, you're not the only one. Okay, I just want y'all to know that. Like, as of 2 weeks ago, this group had 3,800 members. I think it's up to like 4,300 or something. You're not the only one. Okay. Sarah says it's like all at once, and then I'm overwhelmed. Yeah, that's yet another reason. And actually, I'm going to talk about that here in just a second. One of the reasons why you're blocked. But overall, when you feel blocked, the experience of it, it just feels like you're stuck. Okay. How many of you can relate to you just feel stuck? And what's interesting is like not only do your gifts feel stuck, but what I find is that when you feel stuck in one area of your life, it tends to like bleed over. Like you might feel stuck in your career, you might feel stuck in your relationship, you might feel stuck in finance, right? All of those things happen. And what's really super interesting for people that have gone through my programs is they get the healing on their gifts to get them unblocked. Then magically, right? Next thing you know, their relationship improves. Next thing you know, their finances improve. Next thing you know, their, just things improve, right? Just quick story. This maybe this is not the best thing for me to share, but I've had people go through my programs and like midway through they leave a relationship, they get divorced. But that's actually a good thing because they let go of all this other negative energy, right? They let go of their blocks. And then next thing you know, they're seeing clearly. They're like, I shouldn't be in this relationship. I should have left a long time ago. I know who I am, right? So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here, but those are just the benefits of when you can get unstuck. Okay, and part of the 5-day training on day 1 and 2, I'm going to teach you tools to it's like a self healing, learning how to ground. Okay, um, and then you could use those tools not just for your reading space, right? Not just for healing, but you could also use it out in life. All right. I don't talk about that much, but yeah, a lot of these tools you learn over the 5 days you can learn in life. All right. So yeah, I see the comments stuck. Michelle Tremblay, clairsentience, cognizant. I have zero control. Very stuck. Joe, I closed off when I was a teen. I got scared. Oh yeah, just a quick story about that. I was reading a book because in my journey we didn't have the internet or YouTube as much, right? Not so many people were posting on YouTube about their psychic. Now you see YouTube videos all over the place, right? But I remember reading this book and it got to the chapter about meet your healing guide. And I remember I was just by myself. It was like in the middle of the night. And I was reading, that thing on like meeting your healing guide. It's a spirit guide. And the book was saying like, oh, this is a nurturing guide. You have nothing to worry about. They're here to help you. But I was freaked out. I'm like, I'm not going to do that by myself. Right? So yeah, totally get it, Joe, when you say like closed off, got scared. Let me know if any of you got scared like that because it's kind of like the boogeyman under the bed, right? But when you're really sensitive to all that, right? it's less about the boogeyman per se, but yeah, you see these beings, spirit guides, angels, dead relatives. Um, all that is real. My belief is all that is more real than our physical world here. Anyway, I'm just reading, catching up on comments, and Amanda, stuck is a good way to describe it. Sarah, wow, makes sense. Ellen, yes. Ellen, Joe's awesome. Thank you, Ellen. I appreciate that. Miranda, yes, I feel very stuck. Justin, literally definition of clairvoyance or language translation is clear seeing, so it makes sense. Sarah said, way scared at a young age. Great. Thank you all for sharing. And by the way, I love having interaction, and I didn't even have to ask you guys, hey, interact. Y'all are just doing it. So awesome. That's how the challenge is going to be, by the way. It's going to be very interactive. You're not just watching me talk. You will learn some meditation, some guided meditations, but other than that, it's very interactive. Okay. 1 second. Anyone's been to my live, you know I have my dog. Sometimes she likes to get out the door, and then sometimes she wants to come back in. So if I just leave the screen all of a sudden, that's why. Otherwise, she'll just be crying, and you can hear it in the microphone. All right, you guys, let's get into the mini lecture here. So this is pre-training number 1. Like I said, I'm coming on today because there are many of you who have already joined. I want to give you something while you're waiting. We launch officially on October 10th. You can see that on the pinned post. If you haven't joined yet, you could just click on that link, and we go live October 10th at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. All right. Yeah, okay. So there's a link. You could just click on there, and you can join us. It'll be exciting. All right. And I see some comments here. Let me just read them real quick. Awesome, Justin. I attempted levitation at 17, was briefly successful, and it shocked me to the core. Yeah, you know, it happens. Like, you'll have these psychic experiences. You're like, I wasn't even trying. How did that happen? Right? Amanda, honestly, I used to be terrified of ghosts and stuff, but since I have started reading and researching, it's kind of made me less scared of everything paranormal. But I have never had real experience with anything bad. Yeah. You know, in my programs, which, by the way, full disclosure, like the 5-day challenge is an intro. And then when I say my other programs, that's like my other paid programs, right? Full disclosure, right? If you know, the whole idea of the 5-day challenge is you get to know me, you get a taste of the energy of the program, and then I'm going to invite you, if you want to sign up for that more advanced training, we could talk about it at day 5. Okay, full disclosure, like people are like, are you trying to sell me something? I'm like, yes. But like, I want to give this to you for free, you know, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't know you yet, right? Does it make sense? So anyway, I like to be just upfront about that. Anyway, yeah, when it comes to beings, right, in my more advanced program, one thing I teach is all about spirit guides, how to communicate with your spirit guides more effectively. And, you know, for everyone, if you're afraid of spirit guides, just know right off the bat that spirit guides are just energy, right? And when you could just relate to everything as just energy, they're not inherently scary, they're not inherently bad, not even good, right? Sometimes we give spirit more credit than we need to give them, okay? But just know spirits like people, right? Some spirits are doctors out there, some spirits are guides, some spirits are healers, right? Just like people with a body, right? Beings without a body, beings with a body like us. There's a lot of parallels, okay? Anyway, let's get into the lecture here. So I want to get into, and y'all could just kind of meditate on what I'm saying. Okay, you could keep your eyes open, you could close your eyes. I just invite you to just listen from a relaxed place. And as I'm giving this lecture, you know, just see what pops up for you. Get a sense of like a memory or an old energy that might come up. And maybe you've had a question you didn't even know you wanted to ask, but it's like you get the answer that way. And I find that when you're more relaxed, okay, then the information actually comes over a lot more easily. So this lecture is called 3 Reasons Why Your Psychic Gifts Are Blocked. This is pre-training number 1. Now, as we discussed here, one of the problems when you feel blocked is you feel stuck, and that is usually the experience. And when I say stuck, you're stuck with your gifts, Sometimes it bleeds over into other areas of life. You feel stuck in relationships, feel stuck with um, money, feel stuck with job, career, finance, relationship, like all of those things, right? Which, side note, when people come in for a reading for me, that's like the top five, right? Money, health, wealth, career, spiritual path. And, I've had people say, like, oh my gosh, I just feel stuck in the spiritual closet. Okay. So here's the deal: when you're feeling stuck, right, and you're sitting there like, how do I make it work again? How do I make my gifts turn on, right? The thing is, and I'll see this in my students, when I used to teach this stuff in person, right? Now everything is by video and Zoom. But I remember teaching in the classroom, and I could tell when the student is not in their psychic space, because literally, and you could just take a look at me, like their hand is on their chin. Okay, this is the telltale sign that they're not in their psychic space, and this is a sign that they're just thinking, trying too hard, etc. Right? They're just not in their psychic space. Okay, so again, the problem is you feel stuck, but when you start to try too hard, the harder you try, the more your gifts don't work, and therefore you end up feeling even more stuck. Okay, so how many of you can relate to what I'm saying so far? Like, the harder you try, the more your gifts don't work. And you could even just type in trying too hard. And I'll see the comment. It takes like 20 seconds when I say something, and then you guys start typing. So let me just hold off for a moment. Okay, so comments coming in. So it's like, that's me. All right. Yeah, and I'm sure many of you can definitely relate. Justin's like, absolutely. Michelle's like, yes. Okay. So yeah, the harder you try, the more your gifts don't work. So what is the obvious thing to do? Well, let's get to the first reason why your psychic gifts are blocked. And that is, literally, it's just you're trying too hard. Okay? Now, this might be a little more advanced, right? But if any of you are into chakras, okay, chakras are energy centers of the body, all right? And ideally, when you read, you want to read clairvoyantly, meaning you could see through your third eye, okay? So you could see energy. Now, with a lot of awakening psychics, right, empaths especially, you're more stuck in your second chakra, right? Second chakra is where you feel energy, okay? And how many of you can relate to being an empath, right? You just feel energy, right? The extra challenge with an empath is you start absorbing everyone else's energy that you're feeling, right? And when you absorb energy, okay, then it's kind of like this catch-22. Yeah, you can feel it, but the absorbing piece of it all, that will block you, okay? But the trying too hard piece, that's more of a third chakra thing, okay? So third chakra is like your solar plexus, right, where your rib cage meets. And the third chakra is more about effort, okay? Effort, trying too hard. And the thing is, when you are trying to get into your sixth chakra, which, by the way, I teach you to do, is to activate your psychic third eye on day 4 and 5 of the challenge, right? It's kind of like taking an elevator ride up to your sixth chakra, right? So you can start to see energy. And just like Justin said, clairvoyance literally means clear seeing, all right? You get beyond the feeling of it all, right? Because the thing is, if you're trying to feel energy, you don't know if that's your energy or someone else's energy. Does that make sense? Let me know. I just gave you a pop of wisdom there, right? If you're trying to read by feeling energy, the challenge is you're like, is that my energy or someone else's energy? And more likely than not, you guys, if you're absorbing everyone else's energy, usually you don't know if that's your energy or someone else's, okay? Kathy said, yes, how do I stop absorbing it? Stay tuned, Kathy, because on day 3 of the challenge, I teach you psychic protection, okay? And Sarah's like, it totally does, 100%, says Michelle. Michelle also said, I just recently learned to stop soaking up people's energies. Awesome, okay? And just keep doing what works for you. I'm going to teach you some tools for sure so that we call it psychic protection, knowing your psychic boundaries, so not any old energy just gets in your space, okay? Anyway, For reason number one, why you're stuck, literally, it's because you're trying too hard. And when you're trying too hard, you're stuck in your third chakra, not in your sixth chakra. So it's like a spiritual anatomy thing, which when we get into the challenge, I'm going to go in more detail over that. Okay. All right. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is you're overthinking it. Okay. And that's yet another sign. When a student's going like, what does that energy mean? Or what do I do? Like when their hand, like this is the thinking sign. um, Here's the thing: when you're overthinking, okay, when you're thinking in general, and by the way, let me know if y'all are can relate to being an overthinker. Just type in overthinker here. Um, the thing with overthinking is picture it as having two minds. Okay, in one mind is your intuitive mind, and then on the other mind is your thinking mind. Okay, and when it comes to energy, right? You can't be in two places at once. You can't have your energy in your intuitive mind. You can't have your energy in the thinking mind at the same time. Okay? If you do, then literally your attention is split, right? So like, oh my God, I got this sign, but oh, what does it mean? Oh, I got another sign, or this dream or premonition, but how do I do that again? Like, it just doesn't work, right? And then when you're bouncing back and forth like that between the two minds, right, that just leads you to feeling blocked. Whereas if you're 100% in the intuitive mind, and in the challenge, I'm going to teach you how to get there, right? But when you're 100% in the intuitive mind, literally you turn off overthinking. It just naturally shuts off. Now, you've been here before. You've been here before because when you get those signs like 333, 777, were you thinking at that point, or did those signs just come out of nowhere for you? Right? Same thing when you're dreaming and you get these premonitions in your dreams, or like a relative or spirit guide contacts you in your dreams. Were you thinking at that time, or were you just more relaxed and dreaming? Right? So one thing that we're going to learn, or that I'm going to teach you, is how can you mimic, right, those conditions when you weren't thinking. Okay. And yes, there's some meditation. I'm going to teach you some ways to meditate. And go ahead and type in the comments, like if you have trouble meditating. I know that that's an issue with some students. The thing with meditating is there's two ways to meditate, or two general ways, right? One is like you're one with everything. Like you literally sit there for hours and hours and hours, and then you get these insights. You know, you've heard people literally sitting in a cave for 20 years and they're meditating, right? That's not what I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you more of an active way to meditate, okay? And so you can start tapping into your gifts, more like a light switch. It's one thing I like to say. It's like turning on and off your gifts like a light switch, okay? Anyway, that's reason number two why you're blocked is overthinking. Reason number one, literally you're just trying too hard, right? Over trying. Reason number two, you're overthinking. Now, let's get to reason number three. And I kind of hinted at this already. Reason number three why you're blocked is because you're filled with negative energies. Okay? And I don't like necessarily using the word negative, right? It's not, like I mentioned earlier, energy is just energy, right? But the experience of it can feel negative, right? Here's the deal, right? When you're filled with energy, right? Especially energy that's not yours, just know, okay, your psychic gifts are literally right there, okay? And you know they are because you think of someone 5 minutes later, they text you. It's not like your gifts went away. The problem here, right, with the negative energies is that they like pile on top of your gifts. Okay? So when they're piling on top of your gifts, literally your gifts are right here, but they're buried underneath all this negative energy. Does that make sense? Now, question is, what are some examples of negative energies? Well, doubt is one of them, right? And like I said, energy is just energy, but I'm just, for sake of using terminology, right? Doubt, the energy of doubt literally cripples even experienced psychics. Okay, they might be on, but then next thing you know, they hit some weird energy. It threw doubt in their space, right? And then what ends up happening is you start second guessing. It's like, oh, I saw that spirit guide, but sorry, you guys, I saw the spirit guide, but right. And then when people say, oh, but I'm not sure, what did I see? What does it mean? That's when you could tell the doubts coming in. And then again, they're going like this with their hand on their chin. So that's one example of energy, that negative energy that can block your gifts. Another one is just where you second guess everything. Okay, you're getting signs, but you're second guessing, right? And let me know if this is you. Like, I got the sign, I wanted to share what I got with whoever, but I was too afraid to because I was afraid I'd be wrong. Meanwhile, right, and this is more of an extreme story, but I've had like the story of this mom. She saw her kid getting an accident. She didn't say anything. Next thing you know, her kid got in an accident. Fortunately, it wasn't bad, right? It was like more of a fender bender thing. But you hear stuff like that all the time. But that's like second guessing, okay? So let me know if that makes sense. How many of you like get stuff, but you tend to second guess? Just type in the word second guess. Michelle's like, that is me. Hey, Tabitha, all good. It's all recorded. So yeah, right as soon as this is done, like the replay shows up immediately. One thing I want to talk about, and maybe this might be controversial, but one thing that could be a cause for negative energies blocking your gifts is religion. Okay. Now, I'm not bagging on religion at all. Don't get me wrong, right? But I've had many students literally approach me, and not even students, right? But just like naysayers. But some students too. They're like, "Is this holy? Or you're not doing God's work? Or that's the devil talking through you?" Stuff like that, right? And where did that come from? Well, more often than not, these people are quoting some verse from the Bible and all of that, which is kind of funny because there's plenty of verses in the Bible where Jesus was healing, and it's practically describing him as a psychic. So anyway, it's less about the Bible. Okay, like I said, I'm not bagging on religion, but when people start questioning because of it, okay, that's where it becomes a problem. And those who have that kind of a background, I find that those are the most stuck a lot of times, unfortunately. And it's less about how do I get more psychic. A lot of times their journey, like I've seen a lot of them, they're like, I'm not going to go in that religion anymore. Okay. So anyway, everyone is free to believe what they want, but just in my experience, I've seen that over and over again. 1 second. Inside. And Tabitha, yes, I have a stuffy nose. All right, and then a couple things that could also block your gifts, negative energies here. Let me just have these bullet points. Other people's opinions. Okay, so here's the deal. When you pursue your gifts, don't let anyone dim your light. Okay? When you are pursuing your gifts, you want to wake up your psychic abilities, right? You'll hear the word light warrior. You're a warrior of light. And the reason why you're called that, warrior of light, is because you're seeing light where everyone else is seeing dark. Okay? And the thing is, when people are in the dark, right? Here you are, you're shining your light. A lot of times people that are still in the dark and you're in the light, they're like, I don't like you shining that brightly. Okay? Your light is too blinding for me. How dare you get ahead and I'm still stuck here? All right, so when I talk about other people's opinions, right? It can be opinions, beliefs, I don't know, karmic patterns that you might have with people. So you think it's just about your psychic gifts, how do I wake them up? But when you can release a lot of these negative energies, I'm telling you, your gifts are right there. They're just buried underneath all this stuff, right? And then when you heal all that stuff, then your psychic gifts naturally open up. Okay? Now, in the 5 day challenge, I'm not promising you're going to clear all that like in 5 days, right? It definitely is a journey. Even for me, I've been doing this for many, many years now. I'm still clearing, right? But here's the picture for you guys. Imagine a dirty window, okay? If the like the window behind me, if that window's dirty, you're like, is that a tree out there? Are those leaves? Right? Naturally, what would you want to do? You wouldn't try to strain your eyes trying to look through a dirty window. Naturally, what you would do is you clean it off, right? And then you don't have to strain so hard. And that was like number two, right? Was trying too hard. So you can see how all of these are connected here, right? Um, so yeah, some people are talking about religion. Okay, Sarah said I'm in for the long haul. Awesome. All right, you guys. So let me just review the three reasons what blocking your psychic gifts. One is that you're just trying too hard. All right. So in the challenge, you're going to learn ways to relax your body so you don't have to try so hard. And again, a sign, a lot of times is your hand is on your chin, right? Reason number two, overthinking. Yet another thing that I could tell when people are not in their psychic space. And when you're overthinking, either you're in your intuitive mind or you're in your thinking mind. You can't be in both at the same time. Okay. So again, part of the challenge is I'm going to teach you like a method on how to get into your psychic space so you can mimic those times when you're not thinking. And then number three, filled with negative energies, right? And when I say negative energies, it's just other people's energies. Your energies are buried. It could be even your own self-doubt, your own second guessing, other people's opinions, religions, right? Especially with empaths, like I mentioned earlier, you're absorbing everyone else's energy. So your gifts are right there. It's just buried underneath everyone else's energies. Okay. So, good news is on day one and day two of the challenge, I'm going to teach you how to start clearing all that. All right. So, based on everything I've said, and Tabitha, go ahead. You could type in what you're confused about, and I'll answer it here in a moment. But for everyone else, let me know what questions you have. It could be anything about me. I know many of you are meeting me for the first time. Anything about the challenge. You could even just comment. Are you excited for the 5 day challenge to come? What do you want to learn? Let me take a moment. I'll be on here like 10 more minutes, you guys. Yeah, let me know. Let's. Usually I do a Q&A, by the way, on Wednesdays, but today's more pre-training day. I'll do another pre-training next Wednesday, and then we start the following Sunday after that. Okay. Kathy says, my tiger is when I am not heard. It's frustrating. Oh, totally. Yeah. See, I'm just catching up on comments here. Kathy says, people I come across are not that open to talk to different talk. I'll try to interject different talk tracks, and I'll notice as I'm talking people done out. Okay, yeah. And like I said, I'm just catching up on comments here real quick. Tabitha said, yeah, people think I'm crazy because I know things, so it makes me not want to say anything. Yeah. And that's like a perfect example, Tabitha, of like being stuck in the spiritual closet. You have so much to share, right? You have a light that wants to be shined. But, I find a lot of people are dimming their light, right? And, at first we want to do it because we want to make other people comfortable. But after a while, who's the one suffering, right? So either you dim your light, stay suffering, or you shine your light. Be who you are, right? That's what it's all about. So Justin, excited, want to learn more about getting out of my own way. LOL. Michelle, I am excited. It actually is my intuition that brought me here. Love it. That's what I tell my students all the time. Like, I'm the worst salesperson, by the way, you guys, but I just describe the program, right? I describe what I have to offer. And if you want to sign up, one of the things I just say to you guys is like, trust your intuition. Is this right for you? Right? And if it's not, what could be blocking you? Because I know a lot of people are like, I really want this, but, right? You know, um, And I've seen it so many times, right? Where because of everything I just talked about here, right? Other people's opinions, doubt, religion. It's like, nope, y'all, it's time to shine your light. Okay. Sarah just said, you just covered everything I struggle with. I have so many questions, but I'm sure you will cover them later. Yes, I will. Definitely stay tuned. The date's there, the pin post, October 10th, noon Pacific. Which, by the way, you guys, on Monday through Thursday, we're going to meet every evening. Okay, so Sunday, it's going to be noon Pacific, but Monday through Thursday, it's going to be 6 p.m. Pacific. That's 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay, and we'll go for 45 minutes, just like what I'm doing today. And I'll teach you some tools. I'll have time for a Q&A, just like what we're doing now. Tabitha says, I didn't know I was doing shadow work. Could I be subconsciously doing it? Yeah, Tabitha, don't get hung up on that. Okay. When I say shadow work, and this is for everyone, by the way, when I say shadow work, literally just another way of saying that is you're just working on yourself. Okay. Just another example of shadow work is you're willing to face those things that were in the shadows. You're bringing them out to the light, right? And tapping into your gifts, right, is a form of shadow work. I don't necessarily say that, right? But here's the deal, and this is, let me know if anyone can relate to this. You'll see all these love and light people out there, and even in the Facebook group, people are saying love and light, right? Which is all fine and good, right? But where most people are at is they're stuck in the shadows. Okay? They're stuck in the land of doubt. They're stuck in the land of second guessing. They're stuck in the land of, oh, that scary spirit guide, right? Stuck in the spiritual closet. Okay? So when I say shadow work, it's finally just turning around. And if you are afraid of a spirit guide, literally look that spirit guide in the eye and say, no, I'm not afraid of you. Right? Or the doubt. You know what? I'm going to face my fears. Okay? So, Tabitha, yeah. By the way, I don't remember my readings. The thing about reading, right? I'm so in present time that I literally am here. I'm not in the future. I'm not in the past. Like, that's what I've trained myself to do. It's very much a spiritual practice as well as, just being a good psychic. So when people are like, hey, Joe, you remember that thing you said? I'm like, no, I don't remember, because literally that moment's already passed. Okay. But I kind of remember saying something about shadow work. But like I think, Tabitha, what I said was like, your energy reminds you of someone who's done shadow work. Okay. Meaning you're looking at your stuff. Okay. You're working on yourself. All right. So yeah, a lot of people are like talking about shadow sites. Rights. I like the name. When will you do a free reading? Sunday. Okay, so this Sunday, noon Pacific. Just watch out for the invitation in the group. I read up to 5 people. Okay, and really the way it goes is I want to read like 5 different kinds of questions, and that way my students have something to practice. Okay, and eventually you'll get there too. Right, so I might choose a spirit guide question. I might choose a relationship question. I might choose a spiritual path or archangel. I don't know. People ask different things every week. Tabitha, I don't remember the reading. I literally don't remember that escorting. Like I said, Tabitha, don't get hung up on that. You're literally doing what I said would be a block for you, which is overthinking it. Okay? Right, so what I advise for you though, Tabitha, is just no matter what I say, just see where you resonate on some level of where that might be true for you. Okay? And who knows, it might be a past life wanting to wake up. Right? It might be some buried memory. It might be in your subconscious. Okay? The thing with being psychic, you guys, is when things come up, you just say it, because it might make sense for that person today. It might make sense 5 days from today. I've had so many people, like literally weeks later, they're like, Joe, you know that thing that you said? It totally came true. And again, I don't remember a lot of times what I've said, but I'm like, oh, cool. Right? So I've gotten the validation so many times that, Joe, just don't second guess it anymore. Share it, even if you don't know what it means. Okay? It's not my job to filter. My job is just to deliver the message. All right? So Tabitha, yeah, don't overthink it, okay? Angela, you speak my language. Yeah, Angela, I wish I could. Thank you for pointing that out, by the way. I wish in my marketing I could somehow convey it more. Like, yes, it's a psychic awakening, but like it's the world of energy, you guys. Okay, it's all a world of energy. Um, so yeah, that's why I like going live because y'all could just get the energy as I'm talking, and it's more than any email can say or website, right? Um, Tabitha says, thank you so much for everything, your time, your teachings as well. Yeah, you're welcome. Kathy, when I channel, I ramble on and also forget what I've said after I am done. Yeah, that's when you know you're totally in present time. Yeah, I've done some channeling and some things that come out of my mouth. It's like I would never use that word. Like it's a different vocabulary. You know what I mean? Um, and Tabitha said, I'm doing that, what you said not to do. Sorry. All good, Tabitha. Yeah, it's all learning, right? By the way, you guys, and maybe this should be block number 4, right? Blocks your psychic gifts is thinking you need to do this perfectly. Okay. Let me tell you guys, it's that perfection mindset that's going to be a huge block. Okay. So, what I tell people is be like a child learning how to ride a bike, right? A kid is learning on training wheels. They fall a couple times, right? They bruise their elbow or bruise their knee. But what do kids do? They get right back up. They're not defeated. They might cry, right? But they get right back up. They're having fun, right? So don't try to get this perfect. All right. And Tabitha, I'm not saying you're trying to get it perfect, but that's what comes up for me to share with you guys, all of you. Okay. Michelle, by the way, I'm doing a Q&A now. So if any of you have questions about anything, take advantage while I'm live. Usually I'm done by now, but I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Michelle, is it possible to start channeling by accident? Totally. Totally. It's so funny. Grown up, right? Apparently, I used to walk around making funny faces. And literally, it's almost like I was talking to myself, right? But looking back, right, I don't know if I was having conversations with beings or spirit or what, but people would look at me like, Joe, what's up with you? You know? And then I would laugh at the weirdest times. Or how many of you are like that? Like you laugh at the weirdest times, and people are like, why is he laughing? Well, it's because you're seeing things that other people don't see, or you notice things that other people don't notice, right? So yeah, you could totally start channeling by accident. That's usually what people end up doing. And even when you're daydreaming, right? In a way, you're channeling. You might not be channeling a being, right? But maybe you're channeling some energy, some information. Okay. Michelle, my body actually started going into paralysis and everything. Yeah, you know what, Michelle? In my book, I actually tell a story, of my own story of literally, I was sitting in front of my therapist at the time. This was, gosh, more than oh, 13 years ago. I don't know how long ago. It's been a while. But literally, I was talking in front of my therapist, and we're talking about relationships, and she was covering like how fathers, right, our relationship with our father affects our relationship today, right? So there I was sitting there, and then next thing you know, this glow of light was up above her head. And as soon as the glow of light started showing, I'm like, does she not see that? And there she was talking, talking, talking. Next thing you know, I couldn't really hear her. It almost sounded like the Charlie Brown, wah, 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 right? Her talking. And my body froze, right? And I was looking up above her head, seeing the swirling light, right? I'm like, what in the hell? Does she not see that? Next thing you know, right? The light goes away. And then out of nowhere, I just blurted out, how was your relationship with your father, right? And my therapist, was like, well, that's why I became a therapist, right? And then again, it just wanted to come out of my mouth. I'm like, for some reason, I just want to let you know that your dad says he loves you, right? As soon as I said that, light completely went away. I could hear her again, right? It wasn't all mwah, mwah, mwah anymore. My body got unstuck. And I was like, what, WTF, right? What happened? And so it was from that particular experience that put me on my journey, I'm like, I got to learn how to control this. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So Michelle, I could totally relate about going into paralysis because that literally happened to me. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Sarah, you are truly amazing. Thank you. Oh, thank you for that compliment. I appreciate that. Jackie, there are no accidents. Michelle, I felt a strong presence. Gail, not so easy when I've been stifled all my life. Yeah. Gail, I'm not sure if you joined midway, but what I talked about today, and this is for anyone that joined midway through the video, talked about the 3 reasons why your psychic gifts are blocked. So go ahead and check out the replay. Yeah, I channeled some information there about all about it here. Tabitha, yeah, my mind goes blank and words just come out. It's weird. Yeah. By the way, after a while, everyone, you're gonna all these things that are weird. Okay, everything that you're saying is weird. Oh my god, I thought of someone. 5 minutes later, they texted, "How weird!" Right? After a while, what I invite you all to do is yes, go ahead and enjoy the weirdness of it. But rather than calling it weird, that's the thing that you stop second guessing. Okay? So if you see like a weird symbol, if you see a weird spirit guide or something weird comes out of your mouth, right? Again, if it's weird, usually that's a sign that you're not thinking. That's a good thing. Okay? So go with those things because it's not coincidence. And like, so I forgot exactly who said it. Like, there's no coincidences, there's no accidents in the universe, right? What's meant to come forward at this present moment in time is what's meant to come forward. Okay? All right. Am I okay? I'm not sure what you're referring to. I don't know if you're referring to my story or my sniffles here. It's like allergy season again. It's like in the fall. The temperature lowers down a little bit, and then like the pollen comes out. I guess there's plants or vegetation this year to start to bloom. Let's see. So Justin, and I'm 3 minutes behind on the comments here, so I'm catching up here. Okay, so mediumship is communicating with departed spirits, as I understand it. Is mediumship an umbrella term that involves other abilities? I asked to better understand how it will develop. Also, I low key hope to see spirits. LOL. Justin, depending on who you study with, right? Some people are like, mediumship is all about channeling dead people. Okay. Whereas you might meet some other mediums that are like, no, I channel Archangel Michael or I channel Metatron. Right? And then channeling, per se, you don't even have to be channeling a being. You could channel an energy. So, for example, you could be at a concert, right? And there's like thousands of people there. And you could literally channel the energy of the excitement of the concert. Okay? But mediumship, yeah, in general, right, is where you allow a being to come into your space. And you'll see some really extreme examples of where like they talk differently because they're allowing the being to use their voice box. I've had one former client, like she channels alien beings. She calls herself an intergalactic channeler. And her thing, oh my gosh, that whatever being she's channeling would make her sing opera. Like she'd be speaking this light language. Her body's writhing all around. It's a sight to behold, right? So in a way, that's all mediumship. Okay. I'm trying to make it sound all nonchalant, but yeah, that's what I've seen. Amber, sometimes I get kind of inability to share things with certain people at various times. It's weird, like I'm not supposed to tell them. Amber, you bring up a great point because sometimes things will come through. It's more about how do you share it in a way that they can hear it. Okay? So meaning if you were to just come out right and say, hey, you're going to have 10 kids when you grow up. I'm just making stuff up, right? But you don't want to just say that out loud, right? You might want to kind of massage it a little bit. And again, it's more so they can hear it, right? Now, you will get to some points where like now is not the right time for them to hear this. But you get the sense of like when they're ready to hear it, then you can share. And that's all trusting your intuition, you guys. You just have to trust your intuition about when to say things, okay? Tabitha, I've had out-of-body experiences to where I can see myself, everyone else. Yeah. A teacher of mine has said that people fall into two camps. Many people, 50%, are tend to be floating out of the body, right? And the other 50% do not want to go out of their body. Okay. So yeah, it's not unusual where you can have out of body experiences for sure. Me growing up, I was definitely someone who liked to float out of my body a lot. Kathy, this has me figuring out past issues with birth, brain injury that my mom feels guilt over as I try to understand. As I write this, I'm getting my answers. LOL. Yeah, you're channeling literally. So awesome. Yeah, and that's what I mean, you guys, right? Things will come forward when they come forward. And it would have been easy for Kathy to be like, oh, that's coincidence, right? But you start to get to know, like, oh, wait, that's actually coming from a divine place. And again, I don't usually talk about psychic work being divine work. Maybe I should, but it really is a divine thing, right? When you can practice your gifts in this way. Ringing in the ears, says Michelle. I was scared. Totally get that. That's yet another sign, ringing in the ears. And the reason for ringing in the ears is because spirit vibrates so much more quickly than we do in the physical realm that you actually have to tell spirit. And this is one thing I teach in my advanced programs is that you got to tell spirit, hey, lower your vibration. Otherwise, I can't understand you. All right. Tabitha, I think I understand the escorting. I've been trying to talk to my dad since he passed. Okay, yeah, go with that. Tabitha, go with the first thing. This is for everyone. Literally go with the first thing, okay? And don't second guess it. And this is for everyone when people pass away. A lot of times, if they've recently passed away, especially, they go through a transition phase of being with a body to going without a body, right? So you've had, you've probably heard of many religions, like they'll pray for 40 days, 40 nights, right? It's all part of honoring their transition. So one thing you can do to help them transition is help them recognize they no longer have a body, okay? And what you do is you literally just give them a hello as a being, as a spirit without a body. So then they start to see themselves, oh, I'm in spirit now. I don't have a body anymore. Okay. Compared to when you still have a body, like I said, there's a transition period. Kathy, funny you bring up fathers. My relationship was not good. My mom actually said, I do not have a dad. Yeah, happens. And I find that many have backgrounds and, that woke up their psychic gifts. Like, yeah. Gail, when is the replay? As soon as I'm done with the broadcast, it'll show. Amber, that's hilarious. I was telling other people that too. Say it's amazing. Justin, my telepathy is getting that way, not at will, but when it happens, I'm not second guessing anymore. Awesome. Michelle, yes, it was a story. Yeah. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. You learn tools, right, to just get other people's energies out of your space. Kathy says, oh, people ask me a lot. Okay. Kathy said, embrace your allergies gives you character. Yeah, thank you for validating that, Kathy, because like I said, there's the 3 blocks to your psychic gifts. I threw in number 4, which is perfectionism. I'm definitely can be a perfectionist, and it has stopped me. I was debating of showing up tonight, but I was like, there's something greater here. I'm going to show up anyway. If I'm not perfect, if this recording has me sniffling a lot, sometimes it's less about how you deliver the message. It's more the energy that comes across no matter what you say. Y'all get that? Okay. So anyway, yeah, thank you, Kathy. I'm here. I'm trying to embrace it, but let me tell you, some days. Crystal, that's about what I have is mostly the dead people. It's so hard to get people a message. I had one person I had to tell that everything will work out about her son. And then she told me, oh my God, how did you know? Yeah. So it happens all the time. Kathy, how do you get past the point of getting over your issues so you can help others? Yeah, a lot of what I covered today, Kathy, is it's like a lot of self-healing, right? What I find is a lot of people, a lot of healers out there, open up these big healing businesses around their wounds. Okay. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say like a therapist has a problem with her dad, and then she's all her clients have daddy issues. Like it happens so much, right? But the therapist ends up getting really frustrated because she hasn't healed her own daddy issues first. Okay. So what I recommend is heal your own stuff, and then that will make you a more effective healer in the long run. Okay. Don't be trying to fix others people's stuff, or don't be trying to fix yourself via proxy to then help others, right? It just doesn't work that way. And not saying you're doing that, Kathy, but that's just what kind of came through. But yeah, Kathy, when I said don't dim your light for anyone to make them all comfortable, that definitely is a journey. Okay, getting used to just being yourself. Let's see. Ember, both make perfect sense. That's what I felt as well. Thank you for the confirmation, Joe. Yeah, you're welcome. Joe, question. I was meditating one day. I saw a guy wearing a green shirt. Don't know who he was, but a few hours later, I went for a drive and saw a guy wearing the same colored shirt. What is that called? A premonition. Okay. And like I said, we pass these things off as weird, but after a while, just embrace it, you guys. And then the more you embrace it, then it's like that feeling or sense of like, oh, this is a psychic thing. And then you just go with it. Okay. Sarah, I get grabbed a lot. Is that normal? Like grabbed. I've had many students actually experience that as well. So I want to say it's not normal, but it has, it's normal in the sense that I've heard it many times. Okay. Later, I'm going to teach you on day 3 of the challenge. I'll teach you about psychic boundaries, psychic protection. So you could play with this tool and see if it happens, see if it still happens. I've had people where like doors are closing, like I'm on the phone with them. I'm coaching them, right? And this one student I remember very vividly. She goes, "Joe, the door is closing by itself." I was like, "Okay." So I taught her this tool about the psychic protection, right? And then minutes later, she's like, "Oh my gosh, Joe, it's silent," right? Because beings have been bothering her all her life. So when it finally got silent, right? It was like her first moment of peace in literally like years and years and years. Okay, so yeah, you can learn to not only have psychic boundaries for yourself, but you tell the world of spirit, like, these are my boundaries. And you know the saying, my body, my temple, right? It's the same thing. And after a while, they respect that. Okay, you just have to tell them, hey, these are my boundaries, don't cross. Kathy, it's an awareness in 2008. Spirit would make my skin itch, like getting my attention. This was before my boyfriend died. Yeah. A lot of times physically, right? You'll feel it. Like, I remember going to a haunted house in San Diego, and there was this one part of the home, it just got really cold all of a sudden. So yeah, happens all the time. Michelle, thank you for my aha moment. Okay, awesome. Great. Amber, you're perfect the way you are. Thank you. Appreciate that. Kathy, after Ken died, he helped me pick up our dog who weighed 40 pounds and put him on the floor. I got that. Thanks. Awesome. Yeah, Spirit's here to help you guys. Like I said, Spirit's not necessarily crazy. Sometimes Spirit's just bound to an old agreement. You could either complete that agreement or renew your contract with the being. Okay. And yes, some beings are like, okay, I don't want you around me anymore. That part's true. But, like I said, in my more advanced programs, I teach all about that. All right, you guys. Well, it's been an hour. Yeah. So save the date, you guys. The 5-day Unleash Your Inner Psychic Challenge live. We launch officially on October 10th, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Just if you do end up missing it, it is all recorded, but I do advise you come on live. So if you have any questions or anything like that, that's the time where you get to interact with me live. Okay. And I don't do these very often, like literally, because it literally takes a lot of energy on my part, especially on the marketing side and then the Facebook group and the emails and getting all that. It's like a lot of work, you guys. So when I say like I don't do this very often, I really mean it. So definitely show up. October 10th is the day, and then Monday through Thursday we go live at 6 p.m. Pacific this time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, I see a lot of people saying thank you. Yeah, I'll lay down, get ready for bed. Then something like that hit my bed. Yeah, it happens. Gail says thank you so much. Sarah Ruth says sweet, great chat. See you next time. Yeah, I'm gonna do pre-training number 2 on the weekend, likely Saturday. I don't have that information in front of me, but I will also do a live reading on Sunday. So, come check it out. Okay. All right. All right, you guys. Many blessings to you. I will see you later. All right. Bye for now.